Keith Bynum is a name many recognize from Bargain Block, the HGTV show that breathed life into neglected Detroit homes. When the network abruptly canceled the series, fans wondered if we'd ever see him and Evan Thomas on TV again. But Keith recently dropped a message that sounded less like a farewell and more like a bold promise. A big comeback is coming. Keith confirmed to fans in July 2025 that despite Bargain Block ending, he and Evan are far from done. In an emotional post, he said they would continue to work on houses, teased new stuff in the future, and thanked supporters for their overwhelming messages. He wasn't just closing a chapter, he was hinting at what comes next. To understand how dramatic this moment is, you have to go back to when everything changed. The show had originally been renewed for a 5th season, but in early 2025, HGTV reversed course and canceled it, leaving Keith and Evan stunned. By the time fans heard the news, Keith had already known for months. He revealed that 6 months earlier, their business had been completely derailed. Their design firm and renovation pipeline had depended heavily on television work, and losing that deal sent shockwaves through both their professional and personal lives. When Keith finally made the cancellation public in June, he didn't sugarcoat it. He called those months a pretty wild journey and admitted that life and business had been put through the ringer at the hands of a giant corporation. He described TV as a fickle world, full of incredible people who had his back, but also some of the worst he had ever encountered. Still, even as fans braced for the finale, Keith insisted he saw possibilities. He clarified that Bargain Block wouldn't return for a new season, but 4 unaired episodes from Season 4 would air in late summer 2025. His response to fans who hoped the show might be revived was telling. He laughed it off, saying those episodes had already been filmed, and added with a wink that everyone would really love the next chapter. As the final episodes rolled out, beginning on August 20th, Keith shared a heartfelt farewell. He wrote, "Tomorrow marks the beginning of the end. It's amazing to be part of something so wonderful. And it's hard to say goodbye, but I'm beyond grateful for the last 5 years." He thanked the crew, the homeowners, the design team, and especially Detroit, calling the experience magical. Even as he acknowledged the cancellation wasn't their choice, he said fans' support gave him comfort and promised, "We'll see y'all around." For longtime fans, that message was bittersweet. It was closure, but also a reminder of what Keith and Evan had built. They weren't just TV hosts. They had become symbols of resilience, taking on houses most people would have written off and turning them into homes that radiated possibility. That story mattered to Detroit, and it mattered to viewers who tuned in for hope as much as design. So, where does that leave the big comeback? Keith has doubled down. This is not the end, but a reset. He explained that while Bargain Block won't return, he and Evan are pivoting back to their core business, client renovation work through 9 Design Plus homes, while exploring new possibilities in media. He emphasized that they're doing fine, will continue to work on houses, and will share new projects soon. That new stuff is the seed of their comeback. Keith has also spoken openly about the emotional toll of being in the spotlight. During Rock the Block, he admitted to breaking down in tears behind the scenes, leaning on fellow host Egypt Sherrod for support. He recalled one heated exchange with the producer where he feared he might have ruined his career. Those moments shook his confidence, but also gave fans a more honest picture of the struggles behind the polished edits. These confessions struck a chord. In an industry where long hours, budget battles, and corporate pressure are usually hidden, Keith's honesty about crying on a colleague's shoulder or fearing he had made a mistake made him deeply relatable. Instead of putting on a facade, he chose vulnerability. And that vulnerability is now part of what gives his comeback so much power. Some of the heartbreak that fuels his determination comes from deeper personal scars. Keith has spoken at times about family tension, particularly the challenges of reconnecting with his late mother after years of distance. While he hasn't shared every detail, it's clear that those struggles shaped his drive to build, whether it's homes, a brand, or a legacy. Even now, Keith's focus remains on Detroit. Despite branching into projects in places like Georgia and New Orleans, he's been clear that he's not leaving his home city behind. He told fans, "We ain't leaving Detroit." For him and Evan, Detroit is still the heart of their vision. It's where they took forgotten houses and restored not just bricks and mortar, but a sense of pride in neighborhoods too often overlooked. Detroit is more than just a backdrop. It's a character in their story. Each renovation was an act of defiance against decline, a way of saying that even in overlooked areas, beauty and dignity still matter. Walking away from TV doesn't mean walking away from that mission. In fact, without the constant demands of filming, Keith may now be free to tackle projects that align more closely with his vision for community impact. Part of the reason the cancellation stung so much was the bigger picture. Bargain Block was produced by High Noon Entertainment, the same company behind many HGTV staples. In 2025, several of its series were also cut, including Farmhouse Fixer and Good Bones. To many, that suggested the network was shifting priorities or tightening budgets. In that light, Keith's comeback may not be about returning to HGTV. It may be about redefining his platform somewhere new. Keith has made it clear this isn't just wishful thinking. When fans expressed outrage, he admitted their anger mirrored his own, but also said it gave him energy. The solidarity between creator and audience, he explained, was what helped him see a way forward. His tone now blends acknowledgement of pain with optimism about the future. This sense of connection has sparked speculation that Keith and Evan could move to another network, launch a digital-first series, or experiment with streaming platforms that offer more creative freedom. The television world today is not the same as it was a decade ago. Streaming services are hungry for authentic personalities, YouTube channels have grown into full-fledged businesses, and social media can transform a passion project into a global conversation overnight. For designers like Keith, that landscape offers opportunities HGTV alone could never provide. As his final moment on Bargain Block fades, what remains is not a goodbye, but a promise. Keith Bynum's comeback, imperfect and uncertain, is already in motion. It reflects who he has always been: a builder, a designer, a believer in second chances. If you take one message from his story, it's this: talent, integrity, and heart can carry you forward even when doors close. Keith didn't just say see you later, he's already stepping into the next chapter. So what do you think? Are you ready to follow Keith and Evan into their comeback era? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this story inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss whatever they build next.